What's up, guys? Last Mike here. So this is going to be one of my ban list videos. Surprisingly, they've been like the best thing on my channel. I have no idea why. But anyways, this one's going to go over a bunch of cards. Like, I got a ton of cards here to go over. And a lot of them deal with mainly two decks, Dino Rabbit and Mermails, the only two decks that I can really talk about comfortably without doing a bunch of research into other decks and things like that that I don't really know about and their combos and things like that. So I'm just going to concentrate on Dino Rabbit and Mermails. I might do another video about other decks, but these are the two that I know the best and that I can warrant different things. I'm also going to talk about staples and rotation systems with them. So let's get started. I'm going to start with extra deck cards. So everyone's, after the ban of Trish and Brian Ack, everyone thought that Gungnir would be the next card to go. And I hate to say it, but I really don't think it will get banned. It could go to 1. I could see it going to 1, but I don't think they're going to ban this card because, to be honest, you do get it off, every once in a while, but synchros are still pretty well dead in our current meta. Like, yeah, Mermails can synchro, but you're going to see a lot more exceeding with Bottomless Shark and that other thing. So that's that gone. Next card, Delorean. He's already been touched, nothing's going to happen to him. So the people that say Delorean and Gungnir are going to be banned or whatever, and ice barriers are all blah, no, they're not going to be touched. They're totally fine. So that's the synchro portion. I don't think anyone's really talked about any of their synchros, other than Quasar, but nothing's going to happen to Quasar. Next on the Mermail kind of big card list is people think Big Eye is going to get hit. Big Eye is not going to get hit. It takes 2 level 7s to get out. That's very hefty. And yeah, you can do it 2 Abyss Megalos or Trag or things like that. But it's still super hefty card to get out. Like, it's not game breaking. It's good to get it out, but it's not game breaking by any means. Now these two kind of come together, and this is where the Dino Rabbit portion comes in. And it's Lagia, and Dolka. So, what are these cards? Well, Dolka just came out in a tin, Dolka just came out in a tin, and people were picking up the decks, and this came out in a tin, and it's super. I have ultis, but not the point. And people just Dino Rabbit is a very budget deck, and it's very good in this meta because of Mermails and Spellbooks and everything, and it's very good against Rogue. Dino Rabbit's always been good against Rogue, so people are picking up the deck. People are saying that Logia might get hit to 1 or banned, but that doesn't make any sense. It's it doesn't. It's a walking solemn judgment, but it's so easy to bait these out. Yes, good players can play around it, but it's so easy to bait these out with the power cards we have right now. So unless this huge power card shift or power card rotation happens, I'm going to say that these two cards are safe, and you're going to see Dino Rabbit be around for the next few formats because nothing's warranting its removal. Even Verge Rabbit, while it's good in the OCG, it hasn't been released here, and we don't know how it's going to impact our meta. People are saying, oh, it's going to be broken, but you have to remember, it has a very bad matchup in the mirror match. It's very iffy. It's very bad against XYZ decks. So, yeah, it's good at Spellbooks and Machina, whoopie-doo. Gadgets are going to ruin it because they succeed. They're not special summon level 5 or higher. So, things like that. Next, I'm going to talk about Mermails, and I'll do the stapley stuff after, just to do it all at once kind of thing. Just had to sort it, sorry. So, to talk about the Mermails, I have 4 cards here that people have been talking about, which is Dragoons, Megalo, Spear, and Undyne. I know I pointed that wrong, but okay. So let's start with Undyne. Undyne is very interesting because even if you Veiler it, it's a cost to send the water, so cost is a huge thing in this deck. Unlike Dark Worlds, Mermails still get their effects because it's for the activation of the water effect when they get theirs. So, Undyne, I really can't see it being hit. It's a good combo, but it's only good because of its mechanics, I guess would be the word. So to go along with that is the obvious choice of Dragoons. probably the only card I can see being hit in Mermails is Dragoons, because it's an unlimited searcher. And when I say unlimited, I mean it searches the entire deck, pretty much. Minus 3 cards that are water, of course. And those are the Undynes. So Dragoons I can see going to 2. Not 1, because I want to keep the deck alive, because Cosmo Blizzard's coming out with more Morel support. So I want to keep the deck alive. So I'm saying probably 2, if anything. Abyss Sphere, most people play 2 anyways, so even if I got hit 2, no one would care. 3 is, in my opinion, it's not a good build, just because if you need the 3rd, you're probably already winning. Or if you use it that, kind of thing. So, Sphere, I can't really see doing anything. If anything, 2, but once again, no one plays more than 2. And of course, Abyss Megalo, it's not going to get touched. They're coming out with another boss monster that's 3 water monster pitch kind of thing. It's a new boss monster. They're not going to touch Megalo. Like, he's so hefty to bring out. And yeah, you could set it up easily, but still, you have to remember, everything has... In Mermails, it seems like everything's going well, but once you pilot the deck, you realize a lot more that it's, maybe this isn't what I thought it was, because you're on the other side. So next, we have the 3 cards in Macro Rabbit that people say should get hit. Macro, Tour Guide, and Rabbit. So let's talk about Macro. Macro's been around in the formats forever. If it was going to get hit, it would have been hit before now. Macro Rabbit was a thing before. Just, lots of decks use it. It's not going to get hit. People might be like, oh, it breaks the meta, yada yada. MST's at 3, guys. Dust Tornado, all this stuff, Jeez. Twister. Next is Tour Guide. Tour Guide's already at 2. There's no point in hitting it to 1. People like Tour Guide. People use it in lots of things. It's a good engine. It would just be replaced by something further broken. Next is, of course, the cute little bunny rabbit himself. It's already at 2, guys. It's not going to get hit to 1 or banned. It's not warranting that. It's a powerful deck, but it takes a very skilled player to sit down and make the proper plays of the deck so that another deck doesn't take advantage of it. The rare times that I go on Duel Network, I'm not playing Dino Rabbit anymore, I'm playing Mermails. But I play people who play Dino Rabbit on there, and they're very bad. They don't know how to work the deck. And if you don't know how to work this deck, it's either you're just extremely lucky with your draws and your opponent's plays, or you just lose, because people take advantage of your bad plays very quickly, because in all reality, Dino Rabbit's a very slow deck compared to Mermails and other things. So, nothing I can see in Dino Rabbit getting hit. It just doesn't make any sense to me. If something did, it would be very confusing. Finally, at the staples, this is where rotation comes in. So we have power card rotations in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it hasn't happened in a little bit, but we do. So like Giant Trunade, Cold Wave, and Heavy Storm are the 3 back row solvers, I guess would be the word. So Heavy Storm, if it goes, so let's pretend Heavy Storm goes, it will be replaced with Cold Wave or Giant Trunade. It's happened in literally every format, I believe. Next is Dark Hole. Dark Hole doesn't really have a replacement, oddly enough, so if it gets banned, it just gets banned. And I could see it getting banned, but at the same time, we do need answers to Fire Kings and Fire Fists and things like that, to these huge decks that just keep doing these. By the way, if Cold Wave gets unbanned and Heavy goes, Fire Fist no longer exists in the deck, they just get totally tramped. There's no point even playing the deck. So I doubt we're going to see a change, and Trunade would just make my life hell. Next is Mind Control. Mind Control shouldn't have been legal this format. It shouldn't have been legal last format. This card shouldn't... Anything that does what Mind Control, Brain Control, anything like that, other than Enemy Controller, anything that does what those do without a cost, it's simple 1-for-1, it's just too broken. Because this card makes it so, okay, so you're playing this card. Technically it's a -1, but you take your opponent's monster and you turn that into something else, either synchro with it, attack for game with it, or etc. Like half the time when I use it, I'm not even using it, I'm just taking it, attack per game. Next, Sangan. I could see Sangan getting banned easily, just because I've said it should be banned a long time ago. It's too good of a card, basically, is what it comes down to. It really doesn't need to be here, and it searches way too much. Next, Monster Reborn. Considering what your other options are, like, yeah, you could ban it and say, oh, call the Haunted to 3. Yeah, I can see this being banned. Same with BLS. I can see BLS being banned. I don't know my BLS because I didn't want to take it out, but BLS and Reborn, I can see getting banned. But I don't want them to bring. If they do that, I don't want them to bring back something else like DMOC or Premature Burial. I just want them to leave it as it is. Next, Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment, not banned per se, but people are saying it should come back to 2 or 3. And I can see why. I really can. That makes sense to me because of the hefty cost that you're paying for it. If you use this prematurely in a game, you're losing 4,000 life points. That's huge. So I can see the thought process behind that. I definitely agree with that of 2 to 3. Definitely a possibility, but you know, likelihood probably not. One of the biggest ones that I want to see banned, Pot of Avarice. For the decks that run it, it's basically gain when you get it off. If Mermails use this, you probably lost, just because of what advantage they're going to get off it. They're going to return everything bad or recycle everything, and it's just going to become a bad thing. Same with wind-ups, they can return their sharks, magician, whatever. Last but not least, MST. I can see MST going to 2, not 1. If it went to 1, that would make me so happy, because I play Downer Rabbit, but it's not going to happen. If it does, it'll go to 2, and that's okay with me too. It's still 1-for-1 removal. People start using Night Beams or Twister or things like that, and you know, that's fine. I totally agree with that. That's fair. It makes sense. Now I know I left out a bunch of cards that could possibly be thrown into different decks or used in different things, but I really didn't want to, you know, talk about everything. Um, on a future video, I could talk about things like Blackluster Soldier. I could talk about, you know, why other things aren't going to get banned, why other things aren't going to get touched, like Dark Worlds or Agents or things like that. I've seen a lot of people complaining about Dark Worlds, just like all formats, but you have to remember that there's nothing in Dark Worlds that they need to hit, because Dark Worlds has a good game 1, but their game 2 is horrible. They lose to themselves, just like Prophecies, and, you know, there's no point. And for those who, you know, get mad at me for saying Prophecies in that statement against Dark Worlds, it's basically the same thing. You both run off a field spell, you lose to yourself with bad hands, and if you have nothing to go with your spells, you lose. So, you know, it's not really, there's a very close, you know, connection. And I really think the Prophecies are just going to go into obscurity, just like Dark Worlds did, and become just another deck that, you know, sometimes tops and then just doesn't do anything. Let me know what you guys think, and you know, make logical arguments for things, or you know, debating mine. I'd be happy to defend any of my points with discussion and, you know, using logic, I guess, with the game and understanding that Konami needs to make money, etc., etc. Hence why I didn't talk about Fire Fists or Fire Kings. Dueling Network doesn't matter. Konami doesn't run it. Konami doesn't care about it. So it's, no one cares about Dueling Network or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or Dev Pro or whatever they call it now. So yeah, let me know, and hope to hear from you guys soon.